Today we will be reviewing the concepts we have learned. Lambeau Field, home of the Green Bay Packers, has a reputation for being favorable to the home team. Is there convincing evidence of this? In the 2008 to 2010 regular seasons, the Packers were 17-7 at home and 10-14 on the road. A says summarize these performances in a two-way table. So remember, the last column and the last row will always be total. Then our two categories are home and road, with the outcomes of win and loss. So for home, we have 17 wins, 7 losses, which is 24 total games. For the road, we have 10 wins, 14 losses, 24 total games, which gives our total wins 27, our total losses 21, and our total games 48. B says state the hypotheses we are interested in testing. So my HO is going to be the Packers had the same ability to win at home and on the road. My HA will be the Packers had a greater ability to win at home than on the road. So for our test statistic, I'm going to say 17 out of 24 minus 10 out of 24, which is 7 out of 24, or 29.1%. D says describe how to simulate the distribution of the test statistic, assuming that the Packers have the same ability at home and on the road. So I'm going to say take 48 note cards, and label 27 W for win, and the other 21 will be L. Then we're going to shuffle and divide into two piles. $24 for home and $24 for road. Calculate the percent win in each stack. Subtract home minus road. Plot on a dot plot and repeat many times. 100 trials of a simulation were conducted, and the value of the test statistic from each simulation was recorded in the dot plot. Describe what information is provided by the dot plot. So the dot plot shows the possible differences in winning percentage that could occur by random chance assuming the Packers have the same ability to win at home and on the road. Based on the results of the simulation, estimate and interpret the p-value. If you go back, our percentage was 29.1, so that gives me a p-value of 2% because there are two dots that are greater than or equal to 29.1. So the interpret would be assuming the Packers had the same ability to win at home and on the road, we would expect a difference of 29.1% or more. It's very important to make sure you put the or more part. 2% of the time by random chance. And G says, based on the p-value, what is an appropriate conclusion? So we reject HO. We have convincing evidence. That the Packers have a greater ability to win at home than on the road. If there is convincing evidence that the Packers play better at home, can this be attributed to the fanatic cheeseheads in the stadium? And the answer is no, because there could be other factors. such as new coaches, players, or plays. In many sports, athletes use eye black to help them see on sunny days. Eye black is a black substance or sticker that is placed below the eyes to absorb some of the glare from the sun. But does it work better than not using the eye black? To decide, you conduct an experiment where you attempt to catch fly balls while looking into the sun. So A says, what are the explanatory and response variables? So our explanatory variable is going to be wearing something under the eyes. Our response variable is going to be the percent of fly balls caught. B says, what are our treatments? So that would just be eye black and no eye black. C says, explain why it is important to randomize the order in which treatments are used. So we want to make sure that we are not giving an advantage in terms of catching fly balls by not randomizing the order. D says, what variables are important to control? So you would want to control the path as much as you can of each fly ball. You also want to make sure that you are keeping the weather conditions the same. The same field, the same type of ball. You can come up with a lot of different controls that you need to keep. E says, state your hypotheses. So our HO would be that the player has the same ability to catch a fly ball with eye black and without it. Our HA would be the player has a greater ability to catch a fly ball with eye black than without. F says, if the experiment provides convincing evidence that you catch a higher percentage of fly balls when wearing eye black, can you conclude that the eye black is the cause? So our answer would be yes, because all other variables were controlled. Number 36. Suppose that a certain team won 60% of its games at home and only 40% on the road. What additional information would you need to conduct a test to see whether a team has a greater ability to win at home? Well, you know the percentage, so you would need to know the total number of games at home and on the road. Describe a situation in which the difference between 60% and 40% would not provide convincing evidence. Well, that would be if you had, say, 10 games, and that was 60% and 40%. Because that number is too small to make a conclusion. So where could you say that it does provide convincing evidence? That would be if you had like 100 games.